also for me, and today is Victim of the Week. Yeah, so coming up is a few of my own sound design on the Kingdom Hearts video, which is my childhood favorite game. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy. My sound design may not be perfect, but I hope you enjoy the reference with me. Yeah, that's it. I'll get back to the orchestra.
You really do remember me this time. I'm so flattered! But you're too late!
Axel.
Let's meet again in the next life.
Yeah, I'll be waiting.
Silly. Just because you have a next life.
At last, the Keyblade's chosen one.
Who are you talking to? Me? Or Sora?
To half of Sora, of course. You reside in darkness.
Why? Who are you?
I am a servant of the world. And if I'm a servant, then you should consider yourself a tool at best.
Was that supposed to be a joke? 'Cause I'm not laughing! I hate you so
so that was my Kingdom Hearts sound design and accompaniment. The idea was, it's very interesting how video game soundtrack is always just like a very loopable kind of song. It never ends, so I thought why not try to make that concept and actually have an orchestra play it. So yeah, I'm not good at speeches, so I've done what I should have done a long time ago. I wrote down a script. Okay, so okay, so yeah, thank you to Aries, our arranger, who also helped on the arrangement of this alongside me. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts was one of my childhood games growing up, and it's kind of like the first ever AAA game I ever played, so I thought it was quite interesting to bring it here. So yeah, so next, yeah, let's talk about why we're here. So in case y'all didn't know somehow, we are here raising funds for Child Aid Asia, a non-profit empowering children through like music education. And I talked about that on my Instagram page a lot, about how they help children with music, but actually that they even have a course for like teaching farming, and it's called the I Can Grow program. So yeah, do support them. If you can donate more, I guess it's best to try to donate more, so that they can help people go on the journeys that we got to go to. Me personally, I've met all these amazing musicians just by being able to start music, and because my parents are like, my mom's a music teacher also, and she got me into music. So thank you to my family, of course, for letting me pursue music. Yeah, what else did I write? But yeah, so Child Aid Asia, I heard a lot about them when I first joined the orchestra community, and for the longest time I never got their name right, because it was always Hong Nam to me. Child Aid, hey, that guy Child Aid one, of course he's very gay. I'm like, what is child? Why is there 8 of them? So the whole time I thought there was like some like very youth organization, and when I managed to join them actually last year, it was one of the most like wholesome experiences. We got to work with a lot, like we got to work with kids. We got to like have a very positive community, and like it was very overwhelmingly positive experience. And I thought, why not have them be the beneficiary of this concert? Because that, like I mentioned before, like this cause is very dear to me. I wrote a script, but I wrote a script, but I keep going off because I'm running the script. So yeah, so Child Aid Asia helps kids not just by like the teaching the farming and everything, but by students. They have 2 main locations. They have the Salvation Army and they have the Mallory location. So yeah, speaking of the kids, I would like to invite a friend of the orchestra, someone I performed there as well, Mr. Ivan, one of the teachers over at
Hi everyone. Okay, my name is Ivan. I'm one of the teachers for I Can Rock. Okay, from Child Aid Asia, one of the program from Child Aid Asia. What we do for I Can Rock is actually we give teachings, we give support, we give motivations to those underprivileged kids. Okay, some is from single parents, some is no parents. Okay, some they just underprivileged. They want to learn music or what. Okay. By the way, before that, I would like to thanks to Elton first. Okay, thank you for the initiative for this concert, help us to raise funds for kids, and thank you Hikari Orchestra. Okay, every one of them. Okay, they spend a lot of time for the concert. They practice a lot. Okay, I've been with some of them before. I think most of them. Yeah, I saw some of them. I play with them before. They are great people. Okay, so next thing. Okay, what we have done in I Can Rock program. Okay, about this music. Actually, it's like we teach music like guitars, okay, drums, pianos. Okay, for it's not just like we sing in Chinese. Is that we going to teach only Chinese? No. Okay, actually most of them are Indians. Okay, yeah, and another one is from SMK Taman Bukit Maludi. Okay, they do have, we do have Malay students as well. Okay, we don't so-called racist lah. Okay, next thing is like, okay, what we have done is like, we teach those kids, they start from zero. Okay, grow up to now is actually grade 8. Okay, grade 8 means what? Means you can come out and you can become a teacher. Okay, those underprivileged, sometimes they don't have the money to go tuition or what. Okay, some their school studying is actually quite bad. Okay, when the first time I meet them, some of them they don't know how to speak English. Okay, it's very hard for me to communicate with the Indian kids. Okay, I can't speak Tamil. Okay, that's the thing. So I need somebody help me, those kids, those who know English, help me to translate to them. Okay, until like from day to day, I teach them for 5 years. Okay, day to day, I see them grow. Okay, until like there's some two of them. Actually, they are studying here. Can you imagine like the underprivileged students is studying here? Thanks to Jeffrey Chia Foundation as well. Okay, they support those kids as well. Yeah. Okay, there's one person I need to talk about. Okay, one of our kids. Okay, these kids. He come and told me. Okay, after SPM. Okay, he come and told me. Actually, he want to start working already. He don't want to study at all. Okay, and I asked him, what do you want to do with it? He said, I'm going to work in a cafe. Okay, or what else? Don't know. Because he don't know money. Single parents. Okay, he want to earn some money. Then I asked him, actually, what you want to do? He want to become an IT guy. Okay, I said, I told this guy, if you want to become an IT guy, but you work in a cafe, how are you going to gain your hobbies or your dream work in future? Okay, after your cafe, then what else you can do? Don't know. They don't know. After SPM, okay, and I said, I told them, okay, if you really want to do, you study hard for SPM. You really study very hard for SPM. Try to get some scholarship or funds. Okay, there's some funds is good for them. Okay, then at the end, yeah, he's one of the kids here lah. Okay, he's studying here, he stay here. Okay, supported by Jeffrey Chia Foundation. Okay, why I want to say this is, what I did in these 5 years is, I guide them throughout from all fail until they can study in college. Okay, it's not just about music. Okay, but it's about their attitude, the motivations, how they grow with us. Okay, and lastly, I want to thanks to Mr. Ralph. Okay, here our founders of Charity Asia. Okay, without his support, I don't think we can run throughout all these years. Okay, and thank you all of you for support Charity Asia and tonight's concert. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I thought with all of the words, the kind words that Ivan has said, Elton has said, maybe I should come out and say a few words. Firstly, when we started this journey about 13, 14 years ago, I never thought we would get here. Banging on doors and trying to get people to at least listen to you, because you want to give somebody a chance in life. It was tough. For 4 or 5 years, nobody even wanted to believe in us. But subsequently, along the journey, we met positive people, kind-hearted people, people with dreams. And some of them had actually gone through the journey and they understood what we wanted to do. Our 2 main objectives for all the children that we work with. One is to give them hope. Hope for the future, because someone cares enough for them to tell them they mean something. Second thing that we want to give them is confidence. To give them the confidence, you equip them with the necessary skills. Now, some of these things may not be much to you, or those of you who have everything, this is not, we tend to take this for granted, right? But for kids that when I first met, did not even have the confidence to look at me on the eye when I spoke to them. Today, through Ivan's work, wonderful work, they can face the future. You ask them a question, they say, yes, I want to do this. They have the confidence. Now, for that, I'm eternally grateful to people like you for supporting the program. Lastly, I just want to thank Ivan, Elton, the whole orchestra here, and all the members of the technical team for putting all of this effort. Thank you so much.
All right. So if you don't know, that was the founder of Charlotte Asia, Mr. Ralph. Yeah, he's the person who started it all. He was very involved in charity work. I got to meet him, and if you didn't see the interview on Instagram, yeah, I just want to say these people are like some of the most wholesome people, the most positive people. I remember meeting Ivan like in A Orchestra, and then like I never talked to him, and then he was so friendly towards me, and I was like, oh, I don't even know him. He's such a friendly person. Yeah. We've raised 4,786 so far raised for. So I'd like to lastly invite the people of Child Asia up on stage for a mock check giving ceremony. So as like a kind of symbolization of our partnership. So yeah. Okay, back to your regular schedule programming. So, I know Miss Christine probably is like at the back, like want to sleep already. So let's get on with the show. So next, my screen. I almost started saying random stuff. Okay, so next, back to your regular schedule program. I wrote that in the screen. Next up, we have 2 songs from games I played throughout like my living in through college, through uni, and even through like my high school years. The first song is from Genshin. The second song is from League of Legends. So I'd like to welcome Justin, our season conductor and ex-concertmaster, and current conductor and part of the awesome group Sing Chamber. Let's welcome my biggest mentor recently, Justin. Alright. So next I'd like to welcome Kitana and Ryan Binam, our very talented vocalists for the night. So yeah, Genshin and the next song, League of Legends. It's a bit weird why I could include these two songs. Genshin the Day came out like 1-2 years ago. Genshin was one of the games where I actually got to like, one of the very rare multiplayer games I managed to play with friends. And yeah, we don't know, I don't think anyone plays Genshin together anymore, so it's sad, but whatever. But next we also have League of Legends. So if anyone here knows League of Legends, they probably know it's the most toxic game ever. People, every time you play the game, you wanna like, you just want to stop. It wasn't always this way, but originally this part of the script was going to be like, oh, I'm very sad, League of Legends is dead. But actually, I actually got back into League of Legends with like some CMAC friends. Over here we have Brian, Ken Wayne, the performer we have Leonard. So, yeah, I've actually been able to have fun playing League again thanks to them. So, yeah, it's been interesting. So yeah, League of Legends, Legends Never Die.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name?
Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you believe for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive.
They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near.
It's deep in their bones, they're running through smoke when the fire is fierce.
Hold yourself up, 'cause legends
our soloist. Give another round of applause.
That is nice. Okay, so next up we have one more song from Justin. So this last song will be The Legend of Zelda. And I actually haven't played the game before. So actually I included the song recommended by our best depot manager, Andrew Tan. So yeah, I needed a very strong last song for the orchestra, and I was like, okay. I mean, they're not on yet. First half. But yeah, I need a strong ending to the orchestra, so he recommended this, and I was like, oh, it's so good. And you'll see what I mean in a bit. But yeah, let's welcome our last song for the orchestra first half. Justin, take it away. Oh, go on. That, a bit of technical difficulties, as expected from an audio text student's recital. But yeah, it does need a bit of delay. So yeah, what was I talking about? Alright, Zelda. Why am I doing a song about Zelda even though I've never heard of, I've never played the game? Actually, Nintendo's been a very large part of my childhood with like Pokemon Black, Pokemon Red, Pokemon, and mostly Pokemon lah. But I couldn't really fit a Pokemon song in. I wasn't really. Really again? So, yeah. I played a lot of Pokemon growing up, and now we have a Switch at home, of course. But yeah, I think it's a very, how to say, very special place in my heart, even though it's just Pokemon. I'm a very big Pokemon fan. I gave them, like, all performers got like this like sticker gifts. They probably don't even, some of them probably don't even know what Pokemon is, but I gave them Pokemon stickers as well. Yeah, tech side, I think, are we close to done? Okay, so yeah, let's welcome the last song for the orchestra for the first half. Let's go. so much, Justin. All right. So yeah, that's one last round of applause for our orchestra team. Alright, so now I need to kill some time for the crew to start moving the chairs for our bands start coming in. So yeah, next we have bands, and if you've seen the booklet, can scan there for the booklet. You guys have never said that throughout the whole thing, but yeah, if you've seen the booklet, the next two songs are from two animes that I have, well, not really watched, but, well, my experience with anime is very interesting. I always end up like, I always end up like listening to the anime opening first. I remember in high school, if you were in high school with me, I always played Unravel, even though I've never watched Tokyo Ghoul at all. I was just always playing Unravel because it's fun and high notes. When I heard kickback and then string breakdown, I was like, string breakdown. Oh, okay, yes, let's do it, please, we have to do this. So that's the orchestra, that's the whole reason why I put kickback in. That's why you're suffering right now. So yeah, very, very fun for them. It's also very stressful. But yeah, I think they pulled it off very well. They're going to pull it off very well, and we're going to see what they can do. Also, I want to take this chance to acknowledge a few of the players who can't make it today. COVID wave hit again, so we have 4 players that couldn't make it due to COVID. They're probably watching this live stream right now. Kaishan, Nicholas, Wenxin, and Ian. Yeah. Very sad that you didn't make it here today, but yeah, thank you all so much for your efforts. Our conductor got COVID the day before the concert, and Justin, being the beast that he is our last minute stand-in, the conductor. So yeah. Round of applause for Justin. I hate MCing because there's only so many ways I can say round of applause. So I'm running out of words. My brain empty. I'm not meant to be an MC. I can't just very happily go, hey guys, what do you think is going next? I'm so excited for that. I can't do that. I'm introvert. I'm not built for that. So yeah. Oh, they're not ready yet. But yeah, we had, I think, I started thinking of this concert since last year. I think it was very quite soon after Alvin Ong invited me to be part of A Orchestra, which I think some of you probably have watched before. But yeah, him making his own orchestra made me think, okay, that'd be really interesting. Why not try to make my own as well? And that's why the Hikari Orchestra is here today, and we're raising funds for a good cause. And yeah, we've raised almost 5,000 for charity. So I think that's one of the reasons why I want to be here, so that we can show people that doing great things can inspire other people to do great things. Hopefully this can be classified as a great thing. But yeah, I hope people like my juniors, they can end up doing even bigger things than me. This is a massive scale, I think, relative. It's kind of bloating myself, but yeah, I hope people can do even bigger things than me and raise even more money for charity, because that's one of the best things I think we can do on this earth, I guess. Yeah. Not ready yet. So yeah, I know Miss Christine is probably dying in the background, waiting for me to end. Where's Christine? I don't know where she is. If she's not here, then oh, she's there. Okay. Because if she wasn't here, then I don't have any marks. Just very bluntly saying, if she's not here, I don't have marks to be judged off of. So, all right. I haven't been looking at my script this whole time. Okay, how's the tech one? Guitars? Alright, I'm gonna stick to the script this time. So yeah, alright, now it seems we're ready to go. So the next two songs are from anime I follow, Tokyo Ghoul and Chainsaw Man. I've not finished any of them, but yeah, let's give it up for the band. We have Brandon, Daniel, Ryan Sun, Nopinam, Rauli, Nathan, Justin Center, Yuki Van, Oh, also and Alex, sorry, he is blocked by Ryan. Sorry, Alex also. sorry. No, let's go. I feel my lungs bleeding. Mr. James watching from home, I'm so sorry.
a beautiful star. Dorok, Mirai, a beautiful star. Dorok, Mirai, a beautiful star. Dorok, Mirai, a beautiful star. ランドリー今日はガラ切れなきてたったり油汚れもこれでバイバイ。誰だ頭の中呼びかける声はあれが欲しいこれが欲しいとなっている。幸せになりたい楽して生きていたいその手にしか見たいあなたのその胸の中 Happy day 目指して Let's give this my day 行こうぜいつか見た地獄のいいところ愛をばらまいて I love you can I stay くれ全部待って笑ってくれ my honey Don't you feel like beautiful star Don't you feel like beautiful star Don't you feel like beautiful star なんか忘れちゃってんの努力未来 A beautiful star 努力未来 A beautiful star 努力未来 A beautiful star 努力未来 A beautiful star よよよ3で外れる炭酸水ハングルこじらせて飽きそうな人生やまない雨はないように先にその傘を受けようあれが欲しいこれが欲しい全てを知ったら虚せ幸せになりたい楽して生きていたい全部めちゃくちゃにしたい何もかも消されてあなたのその胸の中ラッキーで埋め尽くして Let's get this my day 行こうぜ良い子だけ迎える天国じゃどうも生きられない I love you can I stay なんて笑ってくれ my honey Don't you feel like beautiful star Don't you feel like beautiful star Don't you feel like beautiful star なんか忘れちゃってんだラッキーこんにちはベイベー良い子でいた star. Korea, Mirai, a beautiful star. Korea, Mirai, a beautiful star.
That was worth the wait, right? I did an MC thing. Oh. So, okay, next, Honorable, my turn to suffer. Of course, this kind of things happen during the concert lah. Okay. I'm tired. I mean, Elton. Thank you so much for coming to no, not thank you for coming. That's the first half. I'm really tired. Okay, so yeah, that's the first half. I'll see you on the second half. We're going to have a 20-minute intermission and hopefully not as many this. So yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome to the second half of the Hikari Orchestra concert. Next, we have more pop songs instead of the ACG team we had going on just now. It's more pop songs, a lot of Porter Robinson, some Billie Eilish. If you watch the booklet, you know what's coming up next. So yeah, one of the problems I got while having this orchestra was like, how do you invite so many people? Like I mentioned earlier, I met a lot of amazing people during my time in orchestra, my time in CMAC, and I was thinking, how do I get more people to join the concert? And then I thought of one thing like, okay, we also mentioned earlier, COVID. So during COVID, I was one of the for the Summer University Ensemble, I was one of the editors for audio because audio tech. So I ended up working with a lot of projects that ended up doing this online orchestras, work from home kind of things. So I thought, why not bring this concept to real life? We live in COVID days, but yeah, I've got about 90 people to join us on the screen, and some of them even are in the crew now, some of them performing. If they're watching this live stream, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for this very important recording. So yeah, let's start. Seperti apa dengan?
Suffer the signs that you needed to change. something comforting, something comforting, something comforting, something comforting, something comforting, something comforting, something comforting. Something wrong with me, 'cause getting made you want more, and hoping made you hurt more. Someone tell me something comforting. Oh, something comforting. Thank you.
Yeah, the video's a bit delayed because even though we're CMAC, audio tech students, we're not gods. We can't make everything connect automatically. So sorry about that. So the video's a bit off. Okay, so, oh no, where am I on the screen? Okay. So thanks so much to the band, thanks so much to Hong Liang for doing the mixing for this audio. Thank you to Wen Xin, couldn't be here today due to COVID. Thanks to her for editing the video. And yeah, so next we have, well, in my booklet, it's called Schrodinger's Love Songs, Chicken Tendies, and Blossom. So Blossom by Porter Robinson. Porter Robinson, also the one who made Something of a Thing, is a very talented artist, one of my favorite artists. He made songs that are so hype, but they're so sad. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's just like, I'm vibing, but I'm also crying. But yeah, and Chicken Tendies is a very heartbreaking song about a breakup and how you see other people and you think of the people you've broken up with. And it's called Chicken Tendies. While I don't understand the logic behind such a funny name for such an emotional song, which you'll see, brought to you by our band, with now Kevin on the vocals. And we're going to introduce the rest. We have Lennon, we have Gauri, we have Shinmei, we have Daniel on the guitar once again. Afterwards, we will have Kitana coming back for Blossom. Yeah. So, hope you enjoy. Let's go.
I saw someone that looks just like you in the backseat of a head out the sunroof. I swear it was the dress that I gave you, and I wonder, is your favorite color still blue? You're full of love and wild and free, chasing every dream and possibility. You're more than I could ever be. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I hope he treats you better than I ever could, 'cause you deserve to work times two in a simple Sunday afternoon. I hope he treats you like that I ever showed you, for you to find who fills your heart, even if I'm not the one you choose. I thought I caught a glimpse of me and you in the kitchen where we cook our favorite food. And if I'm being honest, I was a fool. So say the word and I come running back to you. You're full of love and wild and free, chasing every dream and possibility. You're more than I could ever be. Oh, oh, oh. I hope he treats you better than I ever could, 'cause you deserve the world times two in a simple Sunday afternoon. I hope he treats you right even though I had to lose you, for you to find who fills your heart even if I'm not the one you choose. Oh, 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 oh. Times two in a simple Sunday afternoon. I hope you find the one to think I'm not close to, for you to find that fills your heart even if I'm not the one you choose. Oh, and I hope it's home for you.
I close my eyes, for once I don't have to try. I'm well wishing for a life, I picture you happy. Oh, in the weeks we walked, your hands running through the moss. I was so lost in thought, but you were there living. You've taken me with you. Can I slow the days? I wish that I'll find the faith. I'll die and I'll save your place. You'll never suffer. We'll stay together. day can't be far enough. I had lost my sight, so you sang to me the beauty you'd been singing. If I can't stop time, I'll build a world where God cannot take us. There's no need to think of time. But then you said, don't think of the time that's left. You're spending it in your head. I just want you laughing. I'm sorry for crying. I just want you happy. So at last, goodbye. I'll be happy just to have known you, and we wished each other well.
Give it up for Utama, Kevin, Daniel, Kaori, Andrew Tan, Leonard, Alex, and to the all of them. Okay, so I probably shouldn't have done that. Okay, so next, I need to put this away. Because I need to hold my script again. So now, to give some time for our crew to start moving the band stuff away, I want to take this time to acknowledge our sponsor, Chan Academy. They have, they've been helping youth since quite a while ago. Mr. Chan himself, I don't know if he's here, but I think maybe they couldn't make it today. But thank you, Chan Academy, for sponsoring our event. Of course, my brother and sister also studied, they learned cello and violin at Chan Academy, and I have a lot of friends who work there, and I personally have played with the Selangor Philharmonic Orchestra. Very nice experience, very fun. Yeah, and so not just those people, but I want to take this moment to thank, first off, look at my script, keeps resetting. Okay, so yeah. It's been an honor to work I just played in a band which has a violist. I think that's very interesting because when I first joined CMAT, I wasn't able to really fit in because I didn't know any CMAT stuff, and I play a violin. And when do you see a band and go, the violin player? No lah, of course. I go play orchestra or whatever. But yeah, through CMAT I've been able to be more in band scenes somehow, even though I play strings. Not the guitar kind of strings, but the other kind of strings. But it's been amazing, and it's all thanks to CMAT and also chances such as RFB in the crowd, Raja Faro bringing me into a lot of those Attack on Titan, ACG things, which was honestly a dream to come true. Thank you so much, Faro. And next, also acknowledging Sunway University Ensemble, not only for being there being the way I turned out the way I am now, good or bad. But also to them for always supporting me, always like borrowing these instruments, borrowing all these stands. All these stands are from Sunway, the double basses, Sunway, and from Taylor's. I'll get to that. And a lot of the equipment was all like Sunway, it's all SUV stuff. So much appreciation to them. Thank you to like the new president, for letting me do all this. And also thank you to Taylor Symphony Orchestra for borrowing us, renting us the double basses. Big thanks to, I keep going off script. Thank you to the Sunway's 24 Festive Drum Team for borrowing us the drums. Thank you to Chirpy Bird, Ngan Hong's boss, for sponsoring us the audio equipment. Thank you to A Orchestra for borrowing us the mic as well, and Crescendo Concerts, something I'm in as well next week happening. Do come if you're around Kota Komoning area. Yeah, we're having a quartet performance, and they borrowed us some mics as well. So thank you to all these people, and of course thank you to all the players. They all made so much time with weekly practices, 2 days a week for like don't know how many months. They've sacrificed so much to be here, and I'm so thankful that not only are they part of this orchestra, part of this show, part of my final year project, but they're part of my life, my journey as a musical student as well. So yeah, thank you to all the players. You probably can hear me now. I've already said it to them already, but thank you to the players. And yeah, I think we are coming up soon on the last few pieces. So coming up next is Jigsaw. It's a beatbox piece by Jin Shinzaki, an amazing musical beatboxer. I started beatboxing in high school. I never really knew what it was until I came across this like video by Tron Bao, very famous beatboxer. Then I got my friend Ryan, who is going to be singing and beatboxing for us later. He was the one who taught me everything I know, and I owe a lot of my musical growth to him, because he was not only there for me on beatbox, but also he was there for me as like a friend during my first year in CMAT. Like I said, I don't know anything about audio tech stuff. He was the one where I learned most of the stuff about using Logic, because he had done stuff before. So yeah, thanks to Ryan, who's going to come up. I don't know if he heard all that. Hope he did. But yeah, I think it's about time we welcome the orchestra back in. Is the crew ready? All right, let's go. Welcoming Ryan on beatbox, the Hikari Orchestra, and also, sorry, wrong direction, and also Timmy Lin, an amazing conductor and arranger, to conduct this last few pieces.
everyone. I can't place myself into this jigsaw puzzle. I pretend like everyone's good. I can't place myself into this jigsaw puzzle. Place myself into this. Jigsaw puzzle. Why can't I pretend like everyone? I can't place myself into this. Place myself into this. Thank you!
present to you your last song of the night. Well, kind of. So, I'm going to present the last song of the night. An arrangement of Shelter and Sad Machine. If I speak more, Christine will kill me, so let's go on.
ありがとう。
I didn't think I wanted to say it. Yeah. Thank you so much to all the team. Of course, this is the last song, unless you want more. I mean, I'm not gonna do the whole encore thing. I'm going to play the last song. Yeah. No, this last encore is why I made this thing in the first place. It was one of the very inspirations of why this concert came to be. So yes. Alright. Okay. So yeah. So in the booklet you I'll get to that. But yeah. I'm the boy. But yeah, this whole thing has been a very amazing journey for me. I've gone through a lot, learned a lot, and grown a lot as a person through music, which is why I think it's very important to have music education. It's very character building because I've hosted, well, this is my 8th concert that I've hosted. I don't know if I'll ever be able to host more. I don't know if people want me to host more. But yeah, this might be my last time on the stage like this, so please listen to my last song. Everything goes on.
We have Justin. We have Justin, our last-minute fill-in and absolute beast of a conductor. We have Timmy, our amazing talented arranger and soloist, and also our amazing conductor. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath. We have Kevin, amazing vocals. Ryan Pinam on our vocals, always killing it. Almost every orchestra he's already gone to have performed already. Kitana, the first ever to do a recital for the FYP. Ryan Soon, my best friend throughout CNAT. There's one left that was supposed to be for Ian, but I'll leave that there. So yeah, thank you all so much. I'd like to invite all of the band on stage, and we want to take one last photo. Come on, band. Athanasius, Kaori, Chinmay, Leonard, Brandon, and Daniel. Absolutely amazing. Our best depot manager, Andrew Tan. Our go-to drummer, Jesus, Alex Lee. And of course, all the players. I don't know if they heard me earlier, but they've sacrificed so much. They've taken leave. They come during while they're still sick. Thank you so much. I owe you my life from the start. I don't know, I'm bad at emotions. Thank you all so much. It's an honor to work with all of you. Yeah, photo time, I guess. Sorry, a bit awkward. One, two, three. All right, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for supporting Charlie Asia. I hope you all have a great night. I hope you all enjoy the concert. Thank you. It's not my birthday, now I know how anger feels. Yeah, thank you all so much.